Yes, my newest score is a mystery box. Gee, look at this. There's a record player inside. Perpetuum Ebner. Perpetuum Ebner still exists, apparently, and they have a very beautiful overview of their company's history, starting in 1911 with this handsome bloke, Joseph Steidinger, building their first factory. First World War, of course. We move on. You see, they don't mention the Second World War.
Listen, don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it all right.
And by 1950 or 51, they do quite well and sell about 1 million units of this very nice portable record player called the PE Rex. And of course, towards the end of the 50s, who wants to play some records in Germany? Elvis. And there are some pictures known of him using and owning an Perpetuum Ebner record player during the time he spent in Germany. Around 1973, the brand is not represented on the market. I think they go bankrupt, the company disappears, but they reemerge in 2015 and sell some very beautiful, though expensive, record players for all the audiophiles out there, and they have quite bad resolution pictures. Anyways, yeah, you have to click on them. I went to search for this type of plate that my record player has, and I found it here in a unit called Perpetuum Ebner Musical 2V, built in 1959. And this is exactly the type of unit that was the basis. They cannibalized this kind of portable record player to build this huge music machine, which used to belong to the priest of Nazareth. That's what I'm told. So I don't know many priests from Nazareth. I only know one. So from now on, I will refer to this amp as the Jesus amp. And there was something else down here. Let me show you. So underneath the record player was this very nice old tube amp, which is working. 1, 2, 3 power transformers, of which at least one is, I suppose, meant to drive the record player itself. This is the output transformer, which is very promising. Bigger is better. 6L6G power tubes, an AT rectifier, it's got 2 rectifier tubes. This is one. Probably goes with that power transformer. If the inputs for the amp are here, both for the microphone and the pickup, are the record player, I suppose this is the preamp stage of the amp, and this is where it gets quite confusing, because even though there's 6J7 written on the chassis, the tube that's in there is something else. 6C5 Belgian tube, Atzam. And There used to be another 6C5 here. There used to be two C65s here. One's gone. And the tube which is in this socket is not a 6C5 focus, but an EF50, which leads me to conclude that this was formerly used as a chassis for something else, and it's been repurposed in some way or other. 6J5. This was a 6SN7. Yeah, 6SN7. Here's the front panel with a on-off switch, pilot light. This is the power for the record player, and then we have a three knob tone stack, no volume, low, high, and some volume for the pickup and volume for the microphone separately. The record player plugs in here, and a microphone can be attached right here. Still, it's puzzling. I can't stop staring at the layout of this amp if you look at it like this. The output transformer is here, and this is kind of strange because there's another design to this amp in which this used to be the input on this side, and the other side connected speakers. Here's the output transformer, and there are some connectors for speaker leads. On this side, I think this is for the power to the amp, and this is for feeding power to the record player. I'm thinking this is the power transformer that's feeding the record player. Here's a closer look of the power transformer. It says EREA 1031. The big can capacitors are of a Swiss brand, and are date coded 40th week of 1955, and this one the 47th week of 55, fabrication Suisse. And here is the inside of the amp from the input side down. This here is the output transformer, and if you can see the way it's mounted very nicely, I think this is the original output transformer with whatever type of amp this originally was. And the whole amp is wired point to point. These boxy caps are new ones, are repairs, but the greenies, these green, are probably also original. 39th week of 55. So this is probably the input stage, and this is Fribourg condensateur, and this is probably the cathode bias, the cathode bypass cap on the first preamp tube. Yeah, there's some turret board, but still British Hans cap. We'll look at it in more detail once I've put the amp down. Here's another Fribourg condensateur, 14th week of 1955. 1955. This is a power transformer in the middle of the chassis, so it's clear that this is aftermarket. Well, I don't know, market. Here's a lamp. I believe that's done sometimes in a crude way to bring down the voltage, but we'll still have to figure out. Yeah, this is gonna be the original power transformer, I suppose. Of course, the exercise will be, and I knew this beforehand, is to trace out the complete circuit before we can do anything really to this amp. And but some more things have popped up looking at the underside and the layout. So here are the two rectifier tubes, and one seems to be connected to this power transformer, which by itself connects to this switch here, which is the switch for turning the power to the pickup on. So this is probably the transformer for the pickup, or for the record player. So sorry. So one of the two capacitors has been disconnected and replaced by probably these. Now we still have to wonder what this transformer is doing here. Okay. No. Look at this. This is not an original transformer. This is the original transformer. Also, if you look at the layout of these 4 tubes, it is clear that this amp used to be something else. It used to be something with a 4-tube output stage. I'm quite convinced. These sockets are now used for something else. 2 are used for the 6L6s, but the 2 others are used for other tubes. So power comes in here, travels over this, transform it to this one. It's weird. It's weird. Well, as the input is here, either for the microphone or the record player, and there are holes everywhere, I might as well install a jack immediately. At least this will make it easier to test with a guitar. Okay, we have sound, luckily, but not a lot. This is on full volume for now, going into the microphone input, but I think they're just parallel. I put in a jack straight onto the microphone input, but does not. Master volume. somewhat gated too, so we'll have to do some work and some tracing of this circuit before we can get into rock and roll. This is even on the with a Biot Telecaster and the series pickup setting, so playing kind of a humbucker. This is. No, almost no bass at all. I switched the speaker to the middle terminals. I don't know what the exact pinout or connectors are for the output transformer. There's no information on this output transformer, but they have 3 different outlets for the speaker, so they will have different impedances. I connected to the middle one, and this gives a slightly better sound than the first. Even though it's not completely up to volume yet, but that's something to do in the amp, I suppose.